Ed here with the Digital Digest, and today I'm sharing my first update on my experience with the Lenovo YOGA 9i Aura Edition for 2025. This currently is on sale for $14.99 over at Best Buy. I'll include a link in the description. And in full disclosure, this was furnished to me by the manufacturer for review purposes, but will be going back once my coverage has been completed. So part of this refresh is the brand new 14-inch 2.8K 120 Hz OLED display that has 1100 nits peak brightness, making it arguably the best 14-inch display, especially when you factor in the battery life that it's going to yield ever on an Ultrabook from Lenovo. And let's start off by taking a look at that display and also hearing the performance of the 9i's trademark soundbar hinge. The display is absolutely gorgeous, and it's a bonus that we get 120 Hz. A lot of Lenovo's machines that sport similar panels are capped at 60 Hz. That means that if you like to game, you're going to be really happy that you picked this model up as well. So another element, again, with that soundbar hinge is just, as I mentioned, best-in-class audio. So let's take a listen to the spoken word as opposed to just music playing. And by the way, brightness and audio, the speakers are both at 100%. I haven't opened it yet, but that's at least from the info I've seen so far. But that's definitely in line with what I expect to see from Crystal Disk regarding a Gen 4 drive. And then you can see here the results from TimeSpy. And I have to say, I'm impressed. So I don't have my mic pointed directly at the audio source, but incredibly loud for its form factor. And the beauty of the 9i soundbar hinge is that as you change positions on this 2-in-1 display, whether you take it back to tent mode, tablet mode, the audio comes with you. So you never have an audio experience that's marred by the position of the display, which I think has always been a really smart design. Let's talk about that TimeSpy score. So over 21,000 for that 5080 driven Legion Pro 7i. But here, of course, we have an Intel Ultra 7 processor, which actually is excellent despite all of the hate Intel gets these days. I'm still a fan. Not the best time in their company's history, but this is an excellent performer paired with Intel's 140V ARC integrated graphics, which means you absolutely can game with this thin and light 2-in-1 that weighs just a hair under 3 pounds. It's kind of amazing. Also, factor in that Lenovo has soldered 32 gigs of the fastest DDR5 RAM on planet Earth. I believe it's 8,300 megatransfers. It's just an astounding pairing, not just for day-to-day use, photo, video editing, any sort of office work. Forget about email and browsing the web. Best-in-class display with a touchscreen layer. Included pen, which is a brand new version of their pen. Still the same levels of pressure sensitivity, but I haven't really gotten into that yet, but I'm assuming better overall capability. That'll be part of the full review. But again, this all really just pairs very, very well. We've got a phenomenal keyboard, which if you're familiar with really any of Lenovo's machines, they all have great keyboards by way of the acquisition of IBM's ThinkPad division years ago. So 1.5 millimeters of key travel. They've got now some integrated keys that are not new to the lineup, but just something I want to point out. Performance, the ability to switch between the different eye strain mode, essentially. Just profiles that you can quickly change through. You have your fingerprint scanner. We have a Windows Hello capable IR cam at the top center with a privacy switch. Great I/O, 2 Thunderbolt 4 ports, a Type A port capable of, I believe, 10 gigabit. And then we also have a Type C with 20 gigabit on the side. So it doesn't end with Thunderbolt. This machine used to just have Thunderbolt ports, and that was the end. No card reader, but that's not a big deal. This machine pretty much has the the kitchen sink for what is a consumer yoga product. When you think about it, for more I/O, you'd have to move to a ThinkPad model. So overall, just really rich in overall features. And when it comes to something like gaming, as I mentioned before, because of that integrated ARC, the 140V, we've got solid gaming chops here too. This is part of the beauty of Intel's latest and greatest chips in the mobile space, that unlike, pretty much all of Intel's, footprint in the integrated GPU space, we now can actually game. So even with something like Red Dead Redemption 2 at 1080p, you can get over 50 frames. Now, if you wanted to jump to 1440, that's not going to be capable with a challenging title like Red Dead, but Battlefield 5, totally playable. Apex obviously is playable. GTA also playable, but less than 30, that's another title where you probably are going to want to drop down to 1080p. And that's what I will say about this. Anything with ARC 140V, on board, you're going to be able to game at 1080p, worst case scenario, 720p. If you've wondered how this explosion of handheld PCs has occurred, it's because integrated graphics has finally got the chops to cut the mustard, so to speak. So you can absolutely game here with this gorgeous 2.8K OLED. It's going to be a great experience, especially with that 120 hertz refresh rate. But it doesn't end there because, again, this is a 2-in-1. So you've got great multimedia capability, great overall capability for just getting work done, and again, great battery life because we have a 75 watt-hour battery paired with that Ultra 7 chipset, which means this thing sips juice. And I would not be shocked if we can get close to 20 hours out of this. You heard right. And this is why more and more the case for Apple is becoming smaller and smaller. And that's if you're an Apple user. If you're a Windows user, then the case probably wasn't there to begin with. This isn't, any hate for Apple. It has its niche, but that niche is starting to erode because of the capabilities of these machines. When you think about the fact that this can match the battery life and pretty much the performance, and then has a much broader breadth of software compatibility. The world does still run on Windows, and now it can even game. We have a touchscreen OLED that's high refresh, pen input. I mean, it's a 2-in-1. This doesn't exist in Apple's ecosystem for a reason. It would cannibalize things. At any rate, the NVMe 1 terabyte drive, if you want to upgrade it, you can. You might want more space. But when it comes to performance, as you can see, it is a Gen 4 drive with the performance to match. So you're not going to be left, feeling underwhelmed by that NVMe. It would have been great to see Gen 5 in here, but very few machines are sporting Gen 5 drives. The X1 Carbon comes to mind, but that's pretty much it that's come into my studio thus far. So overall, this machine looks incredibly promising, as you can tell. It can game. It can get all of your work done. Does so, I think, with a great cosmetic overall. The webcam is solid. It's not the best that Lenovo has to offer, but it's still really good. Fit and finish on this, the Cosmic Blue, I like it. It's not a total fingerprint magnet. It resolves fingerprints fairly well. When it comes to I/O, I already took you through that. That Type A USB port right there. Flanked by Thunderbolt 4 ports. They are full function. And then come around to the other side, and we have our power button, along with a Type-C port that I mentioned earlier, 20 gigabit, so half the throughput. You can charge from that port as well. And this thing does charge up very quickly. Headphone microphone combo jack, ventilation on the bottom, some rubber feet, and that's pretty much it. Just, I think, rich I/O. And don't forget that, of course, it's a 2-in-1. So if you want to run it in tablet mode, you've got that. You want to do some content consumption like this, you can do that. That Windows Hello feature just unlocked the machine for me. I absolutely love that. Facial recognition should be standard on all machines. I wish it was there with the Legion Pro 7i, something Lenovo should finally integrate. But overall, this is just a really nice machine that's really easy to recommend. And at that $14.99 price, it also is pretty much unmatched with this feature set and overall capability. So that's my first update. You can drop the pen right here. It will stick in place. Nifty. I wouldn't keep it there permanently. I feel like it will inherently get knocked off, but it's pretty solid. But once it's in a bag, I wouldn't trust it. But overall, really nice machine. And if this were my full review, I think you already know, I have no reason not to recommend this thus far. I mean, quiet, cool, does everything you could possibly want, has pen input, touchscreen, I mean, this is kind of the Ultrabook of many of your dreams. And this is why I said that 2025 is the year of the Ultrabook. So, and this does retain fingerprints, but I can see them now. I don't know if they're showing up on screen, but easily, with a Zeiss wipe or something, little microfiber action, this cleans up really, really easily. Any questions or comments, please feel free to post them at that like button. And as usual, please feel free to subscribe and please stay safe. Later.